All of you really have my deep admiration for the obvious commitment you make for the well-being and growth in wisdom and grace to children and young adults. Catholic schools and our parish religious ed programs are the backbone of passing on the faith to our children. Together, we are building the future of the church and helping children to be citizens for a better country and a better tomorrow. So this is a moment for us to celebrate and to build on the legacy handed on to us. Let me begin with a brief personal story. When I was 7, we lived on my uncle's farm overlooking Mount Rainier. I had my own special place in the woods. I would wander through the pasture, past an apple tree, across a creek and the skunk cabbage, and into this wonderful arbor, my own beautiful sacred place in the woods. And one spring day, I suddenly felt a sacred presence all around me. It was just indescribable. I sensed care and joy and gratitude all in a timeless moment. You could call it God. I didn't have a name for what happened, but that sacred moment has stayed with me all my life. You see, children often have profound religious experiences, and they need a place to share them, ideally at home, but also at school. So I gathered up a few short letters that 6th and 7th graders wrote, 6th and 7-year-old children wrote for an exercise in their religious ed classes. So these are 6 and 7-year-olds, huh? So here's the first one. Dear God, instead of letting people die and having to make new ones, why don't you keep the ones you already have? Jane. Dear God, thank you for my baby brother, but what I prayed for was a puppy. Joyce. Dear God, it rained for our whole vacation, and is my father mad? He said some things about you that people are not supposed to say. But I hope you will not hurt him anyway. Your friend, but I'm not going to tell you who I am. And here's my favorite. Dear God, I didn't think orange went with purple until I saw the sunset you made on Tuesday. That was cool. Eugene. You see the beauty and sacredness that reside in the hearts of children. The best teacher I ever had was probably Sister Germaine Marie for the 7th grade. She was dynamic, energetic, and knew just exactly how to handle us. I gained such a solid foundation in English, history, mathematics, geography, and science that high school was a breeze. Sometimes boring, in fact. Sister Germaine Marie was never boring. She was a pistol. In Yakima, long before it was ever a diocese, the legendary Mother Joseph founded the first grade school for girls in 1875. She was all over the Northwest, riding horseback, hitting up miners and loggers and businesses for donations to build Catholic schools and hospitals. Catholic education has always had dedicated teachers like Sister Germaine and Mother Joseph. And today, dedicated men and women have picked up the torch to continue the great tradition. Catholic teachers are generous, they love kids, they sacrifice a great deal of their lives so that children, families, and whole communities can be better places. And often enough, the school or the religious education program is the center of the parish, around which the parish flows, in which families rally for faith and worship and social justice and just plain fun. At the heart of Catholic is Jesus of Nazareth, was the model of humanity. Jesus is the compassion of God made flesh. So we are here tonight because of what happened 141 years ago when the Providence Sisters opened a one-room school for Indian children and a few whites in North Yakima. Later came more sisters and more primary schools in Moxie, Wenatchee, Kennewick, Ephrata, Richland, Yakima, many incarnations of high schools, including LaSalle High School, and in these last days, Tri-Cities Prep. What a litany of dedication. And we are here because we want that legacy to continue and prosper. We are continuing the sacrifice begun by these early pioneers. Catholic schools make every effort for minorities and low-income families to benefit from this value-based, faith-inspired education. Statistically, in the United States, 95% of the children who attend Catholic schools graduate from high school. What a statistic. And these graduates are 4 times more likely to vote in elections. So my point is simple. Our system of education works. It benefits society, and it deserves support from the wider civic community. Nationwide, Catholic schools save taxpayers over $20 billion each year. But it's also true that the likelihood of continuing this legacy is ever in doubt, without some adjustment that will give families a choice through government and public cooperation. We understand that new partnerships are necessary to continue the legacy. So tonight, I salute the work of so many dedicated parents, pastors, teachers, administrators, staff members, volunteers, benefactors who work and minister in our Catholic schools and religious ed programs. And I thank all of you parents who entrust your children to a Catholic education to advance their engagement in the faith. Thanks to each and all.